Oh, well, welcome back. Welcome to Custom Routed Signs and Woodworking. I got the layout out. Sorry I got ahead of everybody. What we're doing now is we're using a transfer paper, a carbon paper, to go ahead and put this layout down on this pine board. We'll be getting into a little bit later about Rapid Resizer that I use, a program, in a later video. But that's a program that I use to go ahead and get this layout put down on a board this size. There's a lot of advantages to using that program. There's different ways of transferring your design to a board. You can go to see Old Dave 100. He has got a lot of good tips and techniques on there for laser toners, for laser printers like I use, or for inkjet printers. And but I myself, when it comes to something this big, I like to go ahead and use carbon paper. That way I can trace it down and know that it's down good. Old school, I guess you could say, but it works for me. So let's go ahead and continue on here. Okay, this is what the sign is going to look like. It's just laid out right now. I have not got it centered up the way I want on the board. And the program that I'm using for this, to make this sign this big, is called Rapid Resizer. And we'll be going into that probably in the next video to explain a little bit about that, or in a future video. It's not all that bad of a program. You can do quite a bit with it, and to keep you from losing way of your sign when you print it out, there are numbers on here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but they're all numbered to where you can lay them all out, and that way you can get them all straightened out. That is, if you have a sign as big as this. Most of the other signs are usually about 3 to 4 sheets in size. This one, when I first printed it out, or was going to print it out, it was going to be 36 pages long. One thing that's nice about Rapid Resizer is that when you do print it out, it will only print out the pages that it needs. It will not print out the blank pages, so you won't have excess paper hanging out. Okay, let's see how we did here. Try to fold this over to where I don't ruin it, because we're going to need it again for the other side. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, kind of hard to see on the camera here, but it doesn't look too shabby if you ask me. This is only just the layout, and it should work out pretty good. Once we get it routed out, you'll be able to see a lot better. So, okay, let's take a break. One thing I want to point out too, whenever we start into carving, if you notice the lettering, I've got it going against the grain, and there's a reason for that. If you went with the grain, such as having your lettering going this way, you run into the possibility of having your router bit stray away from your line as you're cutting, and that's because it wants to follow the dark or the light, whatever's the smoothest or the easiest to cut through, versus getting into the heavy grain itself. It'll want to follow the easy grain. So what we're going to do is we're going to be coming down and routing this out. But what I'm going to do is, because the router bit will rotate this way, whoops, excuse me, because the router bit's going to rotate this way, I'm going to go backwards, and that's what they call a back. Okay, now we're at the phase of, we've already got the layout put down on the board. What we're going to start doing is we're going to route the sign out, carve it out, and using a router. Now there are different types of router bits that we use to get our cuts that we need and to get our fine detail that we need. The first one that we're going to be using is what they call the profile bit. This bit I have mounted in a DeWalt router, if you can see it good. This bit has a 45-degree angle tip to it. Let's see if I can rotate it a little bit here. 45-degree angle tip followed by a 15-degree angle above it. And this gives you perfect carvings for where you can do some type of fine detail work, to where you don't need really super detail, but you can do fine detail at the 45-degree tip, and then the 15-degree tip gives you a good cut and gives you a good wall on your sign as you carve away. We're going to be using this mostly for first cutting, then followed up by a 90-degree tip. This is a 1/4-inch router bit with a 90-degree tip, and what this will do is this will take out the chunks in the center of the lettering, as well as the animals. What I'm going to do with this sign is I'm going to use a 3/8 wide 90-degree tip router bit. And this will be used for mostly for the animals and the lettering, because it's such as big letters, and this will give you a lot better and bigger angles and design on the inside of the lettering. And this is something that the customer specifically requested, because she liked the diamond, as it looks like a diamond type design on the board itself. So that's what we're going to go with for a majority of the sign, is a 90-degree 3/8 wide cut. All these router bits can be purchased at makeawoodsign.com. Eric Routon, Ryan Routon, Vicky Routon. It's a family-owned business. I'm not sponsored by them, but I buy all my router bits from them, and they're the best bits you can use. And they have more detail on it on their website, and you can contact them as well. I'll put a link in the bottom of the video description here of this video on how to get to them in regards to these router bits. Okay, I got the router bit set at about 1/8 of an inch in depth. That's because of the wood itself. We don't know how it's going to react when I start carving. If it reacts a little bit better, or if it's easier to carve, I'll go ahead and go a little deeper, but I think I'll start with 1/8 of an inch to act as a trace, and then once we get into our final depths and stuff, we can go right into a gross depth adjustment and go up to 1/4 of an inch possibly. So let's go ahead and get going here. But this router bit has been used a few times, so you can see that the point is somewhat not as pointy as it should be. Well, what I've done is I've set this to where it's just right around 1/4 of an inch in height, and that will give us a little bit extra clearance on our line.